Hey guys, it's Kevin here. Hope you're doing well. As you know, my new single Conformity came out last Friday. And right off the bat, I just want to say thank you so much for listening, streaming, buying the new song. Really appreciate it. I've been getting some real good feedback from you guys. I'm just super stoked that you enjoy it. So I thought I'd just give you guys some insight on what the song's about. Here's my lyric breakdown. Let's do it. So this first little line is kind of coming from, having, some people have to grow up with certain challenges that other people don't, have to face. Of course, as an African-American male, there are a lot of racial issues with me growing up, especially being, so into classical music and, in my EDM phase and then eventually into pop and with a little country and now into rock and hard rock and metal. During those different phases, people didn't really get that, which is really weird. And growing up on these stereotypes at birth, and people already have an idea of what you're supposed to be, is ridiculous. And, you should be able to grow up and be whoever you want to be without anyone holding you back or anyone having an opinion on who you should be and what you should be doing. A lot of people thought I was into sports because of my height. I don't like sport. I'm not a fan. I tried it. I tried soccer. I tried football. I just didn't like it. When I was like 5 or 6 years old. So being able to express myself in ways that go against the tide and the way our society is set up, it's difficult because people, they have their opinions and they have their thoughts on what you are in the world and what you should be, and it is our responsibility as human beings to not care about what other people think, and that first line, all the lies you sold as truth to me, kind of ties into all the stereotypes that you were told that you were supposed to be and what you believed that other people are supposed to be. And that's something that we need to change, because you have an idea that you grew up on what a different person is supposed to act like, and the second that they go against whatever you've been told and what you've been lied to, and and that's where you start getting into homophobia and racism and sexism. People put these stupid ideals of what a certain human being should be. And then when you see that they're not doing that, you get very upset and angry, and you just don't understand what's going on. And that's because you've been lied to all your life. And it's hard to change what you believe when you've grown up on it. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Nobody could have known honesty overthrown. You wanna tell me what I don't believe?
It's basically like honesty has just been thrown out the window, and we kind of have to pick up the pieces of the truth. And the fact that we have to do that in 2020 is very disheartening. And we're making great strides to bring forth some real change, and we're a part of the biggest revolution to the civil rights movement right now in 2020. So we're doing all of it. We're doing it all, and it's great to see that everyone's starting to come together as one and fight against everything wrong with how the world's working. And that's kind of where that line kind of comes from. So yeah.
The cycle just keeps on repeating while all your friends hang high and dry.
Pre-chorus, yes. It keeps happening. We try to, it happens once, and then we say this is bad, and then the next day it happens again, and the cycle just keeps going around and around, and finally we've hit a breaking point where this is not acceptable. So we're kind of we just keep going through this vicious cycle that doesn't need to happen. While your friends hang high and dry, those kind of have two meanings to them. Kind of the way I see it is that while your friends hang high and dry, the people who have the assets to survive horrible billionaires, I'm talking about the 1%, all of those very rich and wealthy people that are just sitting high and dry while the rest of the world is, kind of going against each other, but also kind of, trying to make their way through life while, the people at the top are really just kind of chilling, just hanging there and not really going through what the rest of us have to go through. And also another part of that hang high and dry is it could be also those people who are living through the poverty, living through the homelessness. Those people are being left high and dry while the cycle keeps going and nothing changes. Yeah, this line just goes, it just goes about like society and the world trying to put you in a specific place, and they're trying to convince you that you belong here. You're conforming. It's a good thing. And conformity is not something to be proud of. You know what I mean? Conformity isn't something that you should strive to be. It's something that you need to stay away from because, you want to be able to express your individuality in whatever you believe in, and whether people agree with you or not, it doesn't really matter as long as you're expressing your beliefs and your values and not conforming. Well, then the world's going to be a better place, because if you're being honest with yourself and you're expressing that, now we have an accurate picture of what people are feeling. But if you want to conform based on your gender, your race, sexual orientation, that's where the problems come, because now you're trying to be someone that you're not. And you tie me down, call it reality. It just goes back to, you want to constrain me to what you think I'm supposed to be, and that's just how it is, which it isn't. You see people who push against the tide and create something that no one would have thought that specific person could have created, which is absurd to me. It's just, it's kind of like saying, that's good for you know what I mean? It's that type of stuff really kind of ticks me off, because it's just absurd that we want to place people in categories based on something that they can't change.
When will you realize nobody can disguise this raging fire that lights the dark?
If your leg's broken, you're not going to put a Band-Aid on it. And that's exactly what's happening right now, and that's the raging fire that we're dealing with. And a lot of people just want to say it's not that big of a deal, put a Band-Aid on it, feel better tomorrow. It's not, that's why it's, it's a raging fire. Fires, they're powerful, they're dangerous, and they can really do some damage, and that's what's going on, and we need to open our eyes and realize that it's not going to go away in a day. You know what I'm saying? You can't just put a blanket on homophobia. That's not something that happens. We would have done it by now, but of course that's something that's occurring in society, and it just needs to stop.
Nobody crowned you king. I will not kiss the ring. Believe I'll tear this thing apart.
Don't bow down from your beliefs because other people think you should. We don't need other people's approval to justify our beliefs and our values. You know, we have ourselves for that. You know, we can believe in ourselves that we're doing the right thing for us, and it may not be the same as somebody else, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it just, that line kind of goes back to, you know, don't bow down to anybody. You know, because the second you do that, your beliefs aren't yours anymore. Yeah, and that's pretty much the entire song. It's really just about, just be yourself and don't let anyone else decide who you are. And, you know, you are your own individual. You have all of the control to make your life how you want it, and just make the most out of everything, and you're gonna be just fine. But yeah, that's Conformity. Thank you so much for listening to me. I appreciate it. And be sure to check out Conformity on all platforms, and the lyric video that I just showed you guys is on my YouTube channel. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.